Hi, class. Today's lesson is going to be on converting between fractions, decimals, and percents. So let's get started. So first we're going to do percent to a fraction. So when you're doing percent to a fraction, you want to write the percent. So let me make it thicker. So you want to write the percent. My spelling. My writing is okay. Percent over 100. Remember, it's without the percent sign or symbol. And then make sure that you simplify completely. So let's do, you have examples over here that you can refer to, but let's do 18%. So you're going to write the 18% without the percent and then over 100. And now you want to check to see if you can simplify. Can you simplify 18 over 100? Well, they're both even numbers. And if you can find the largest number, great. And if you're not sure, then pick a number that goes into both. And because they're both even numbers, we know 2 divides into both of them. So 18 divided by 2, 100 divided by 2. And that gives you 9 over 50. You should always check to see if you can simplify further. Is there another number that goes into 9 and 50? And in this case, no. So that is your answer. This is your fraction. Now let's do percent to decimal. So remove the percent sign and move the decimal 2 places to the left. And why is it moving to the left 2 places? Because you're dividing by 100, and 100 has 2 zeros. So you can do this with tens, hundreds, thousands. But because 100 has 2 zeros and you're dividing, you're moving this decimal to the left. The number is getting smaller. So you're going to end up doing that percent over divided by 100, okay? So all you're doing is moving to 2 places. So for 73%, we're going to write 73 and identify where that decimal place is. And the decimal place in whole numbers is always at the end. And now we're going to move that 2 places to the left because we're dividing by 100. And your answer is going to be 0.73. You really should write that 0 in the front. It looks better, and you like the person reading it understands that there is a decimal right there. Sometimes you guys write that. Sometimes decimals are written so faintly you're not even sure. All right, let's do 5%. So we're writing 5 without the percent symbol, and the decimal is here. So we're going to go 2 places to the left. And when there's no number there, we have to make sure that we have a placeholder here. If you don't, then it's not the same number. 0.05 and 0.5 are not the same thing. So make sure if there's no number there, you put a 0 there. So the decimal of 5% is 0.05. And the last one, 6.6%. So again, this time we're given a decimal, and that's totally fine. We're just going to start there and move it 2 places to the left. 1, 2. And then remember, no number, we put a 0. So it's going to be 0.066. And that's how you change from percent to a decimal. So decimal to a fraction. Write the decimal over the place value of the last number. So if it's 0.1, this is the 10th. It's over 10 because it's over in the 10th place. You're dividing by 10. If it's in the hundreds place, like that 2 is here, you're dividing by 100. If it's in the thousands place, it's over 1,000. And then don't forget to simplify. So you have 0.32. In this, the last digit, the last number is in the hundredths place. That means you're going to do 32 divided by 100. And now we have to simplify. And can we identify what the largest number that goes into it? I know that 4 goes into 32 and 100, so I'm going to divide by 4. And that gives you 32 divided by 4 is 8. 100 divided by 4 is 25. And ask yourself, is there another number that goes into 8 and 25? 25, only number that goes into it is 5. So, and that doesn't go into 8. So this is your answer. 0.004. Well, this is saying 4 thousandths. That 4 is in the thousands place. So we're going to do 4 divided by 1,000. And now let's simplify. So in this number, in this one, 4 is a number that divides into both. So you end up getting 1 over, and if you're not sure, like, you can test it out. We know that 100 divided by 4 is 25, and then you have a leftover 0, so it's going to be 1 over 250. So what I did is 100 divided by 4, and I know that's 25, and then we have that extra 0 here, so you can just kind of add that in there. That's kind of how I did that mentally. And if you notice that problem over here, that it's written in a mixed fraction, you kind of want to write it as a mixed fraction if you can. It depends on the problem and the teacher if you can keep it as an improper or leave it as a mixed. Okay. Next, decimal to a percent. So move the decimal places two places to the right. So it's going to be the percent times 100. So remember when we did this over here, we were changing percent to a decimal. Now we're changing decimal to a percent. So in percent to a decimal, we were moving 2 places to the left. The number was getting smaller because we're dividing by 100. So now we are doing decimal to percent. We're multiplying by 100, so that's why the number is getting bigger, so you're moving the decimal 2 places to the right. And just make sure you add that percent sign at the end. So 0.25, you're moving the decimal 2 places to the right, and it goes right here, so it's going to be 25%. 1.253, so again, 2 places to the right, it's going to be 125.3%. 2 places to the right, 1, 2. And remember, nothing there, you have to put a 0. It's going to be 90%. Fraction to a decimal. This is the one that's going to require the most amount of work because you actually have to divide. Okay, so you're going to have to divide the numerator by the denominator. And if you look, numerator by the denominator goes on the outside, the numerator goes on the inside. So your dividend is underneath and your divisor is on the outside. So 6 over 25. So 6 over 25, we put that, I'm going to do it over here because of space. 6 divided by 25. And then 25 does not go into 6, so we have to put a decimal here. And remember to put a decimal on top. And then we add a 0 here. So this is a 0 here. 25 goes into 60 2 times. 2 times 25 is 50. 1, 0. And then you add another 0 and bring that down. 25 goes into 100 4 times. So your decimal is going to be 0.24. You don't really need this because you can't simplify. And if you can ever simplify, then simplify. Maybe it makes it easier. Another way to do this. So there are 2. That's what that's for. So another way you can do it. So that's what that's for. So I'll show you the other way now. So you can actually rewrite your fraction if possible. So it works for this problem, it doesn't work for this problem. So if you can rewrite your fraction where the denominator is 100, because we know percent is always going to be over 100, then do that. So 25 times 4 is 100. That means 6 times 4 is 24. And 24 divided by 100, you're moving the decimal places. We know this is going to be 24%. So again, you can do it this way, but this is a little quicker. 3 divided by 8, you actually have to divide here. So the 8 goes on the outside, the 3 underneath. So 8 goes into 3 0 times. Have that a decimal point here, a decimal point there, add a 0. 8 goes into 30 3 times. 8 times 3 is 24. So you're going to get a 6. Add another 0 here, bring down that 0. 8 goes into 60 7 times. 8 times 7 is 56. This is a 4. Bring another 0 here, bring it down. 8 goes into 40 5 times. So your decimal is going to be 0.375. And this was supposed to be a decimal, right? And I wrote it as a percent. Bad me. So remember, when you're dividing by 100, we did this fraction to a decimal. Not fraction, a fraction to... So you can do this by doing 24, and then you're dividing by 100, so move it 2 places to the left. It's going to be 0.24. Right? And lastly, fraction to percent. To convert the fraction to a decimal, move the decimal 2 places. Oh, 2%. 2 places to the right. Because you're doing your decimal times 100, and then you add the percent sign. So 5 divided by 8. And I feel like I never have enough space on this, but I will try to squeeze it in. So I'm going to do this in a different color. So 8 goes on the outside, 5 underneath. 8 does not go into 5. You put a 0. Decimal here, decimal there, add a 0. 8 goes into 50 6 times. 8 times 6 is 48. 2, add another 0, bring that down. 8 goes into 20 6 times. No, not 6 times. 2 times. 16. And that's going to be 4. And add another 0 here, bring that down. 8 goes into 40 5 times. So this is going to be 0.625. And then you're going to be multiplying this by 100. That means you're moving the decimal places 2 places to the right. So it's going to be 62.5%. Let's do another example. So 9 goes underneath the fraction bar. The division bar. 2 goes on the outside. 2 goes into 9 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8. 1 decimal here, decimal there. Add a 0, bring that down. 2 goes into 10 5 times. 2 times 5 is 10. So this is going to be 4.5. And now to change that to a percent, move 2 places to the right. Add a 0 here. So this is going to be 450%. Hope that helped you in converting between all of them. Thanks for joining me. Bye.